Greetings, ladies and gentle readers. I'm Dwyer, and I finished reading me Quest Academy Legions. Didn't realize what the name was for a minute there. And probably from the title of this video, you can probably ascertain that I want to like it. I really want to like it. It's my favorite lit RPGs currently ongoing. But yeah, as the title probably states, the tension is just not there in this book anymore. It's unfortunate. If we go back to the first one, good old Quest Academy Silvers over here. Let's get that in frame. Sorry, I know what I'm doing. Honest, this was by far and away one of my favoritist lit RPGs in a while, because it did things that you don't normally see. The idea, as I think it comes out and said immediately, if it didn't, I don't care, whatever. Essentially, the main character is a really super powerful crafter. We're being told a story from a crafting perspective, because Mr. MC here, who eventually winds up being this guy right over here, not the guy in like the glowy thing, but yeah, this little duder man right here. Yeah, he starts crafting things, and it's pretty cool. Now, that in of itself doesn't make for a good story, but how the story was told made for a very good story. For example, there was a lot of showing and don't tell. For example, what is the world? The world is overrun by demons. How do we know this? Well, because in the opening sequence, our main character is getting onto a train. That train is traveling between two cities. That train is under attack by demons. It's just fact of life. Travel between the two places. The train's heavily armored. And yet you can see like smoke and debris, well, not necessarily debris, but smoke and blood and, damage on the other car sections when they get through the dead zone or whatever they call it. So, tension there. You can see that there's demons. You can see with your, whether you're reading or listening, depending on what your, media of choice is. But yeah, you can see or hear that the damage is real. There's a pretty real cost, sometimes in human life, for this war that is going on, and you want to know the main character's place in it. Okay, fantastic. He has a really strong power. He can see other people's abilities and kind of adopt them into himself. But if his body is not strong enough to support it, because let's say he adopts the power of like some super heavy lifter dude, but he ain't got the muscles. So if he tries to do the same thing, he'll rip himself to pieces. Like he'll tear his muscles, his tendons, the whole 9 yards, right? Because his body isn't compatible with the power he's trying to adopt. So we see how the magic system works and its limitations. So we build an expectation of what the main character can and can't do, which is great, because then you can take that expectation and think about how he's going to take those limits and apply it to the problem we just saw of the demons destroying things. So you can see how book one was well thought out. The tension slowly rises. Main characters aren't always right. They think something's going to happen, and they need everyone to listen to them because, they alone figured it out. And they realize, no, there's other people in the world. They're also on it. Chill. It's all good. He wants to craft super important stuff. That's super, super expensive. There's limits. You can't do it. So there's tension. There's limits. There's characters that feel real and fleshed out, like they belong in the story. Then you come back over here to book 5. Tension's all gone. It's no longer just a crafting story, because in the space of one book, Actually, in space of like 2 months, he's like a master martial artist now. And he's got gear that he did not have to struggle for in any way that can kill all the things. So the character is now completely OP. Unfortunately, the story also ate itself because in this world, there's a classification system, standard RPG classification system. Common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and mythological. For example, you have a common shovel you can dig stuff with. Great. It's a common item. Maybe you put sharpness on the shovel so it can dig better. Now it's an uncommon item. Maybe you give it another effect. Like maybe it's indestructible. That's probably going too far. But maybe you've got like a sonic option on it so it can disrupt the soil better. Now it's rare and you can use it to fight because it's super sharp and upon hit has a sonic effect. So yeah, that's rare. And all of this requires more and more and more resources to craft one over the other. When you get to epic, even more, even less common. Legendary, same thing. And then mythological is something that just theory, never seen it before in your life. Problem is, none of that means anything anymore. Because by book 5, mythological becomes common. He's creating mythological items at will, at no cost to himself. Which, that right there is the sticking point for most of the book, I feel. Now, I think the author is trying to get around this by bringing the idea that there are, I forget if he said 2 or 3 classifications after mythological, introduced for the first time in this particular book. But that's kind of introduced after the last book when you just made legendary items really common and mythological items really common, and you doubled down on it throughout all of this first book. So towards the end, we're like, oh no, there's even more rarity. But I'm already out of the book at this point because I don't care about what he's crafting anymore because he can craft whatever he wants, whenever he wants, with no cost to himself. He doesn't have to like go through a portal and battle like demons or something to get these hard fought items. Other people can now do it too, so it's like, guess he's kind of a little special, but not really. You had a fallback where he needed other people to kind of help protect him, but that's out the window too because he's now super strong and he's got all these cool gadgets and gizmos that can, almost destroy demons by themselves. So where's the tension in the book? What am I like turning the pages for? Okay, swiping. It's a Kindle. What am I constantly swiping for to see how he's going to rise above this next challenge? There are no challenges. You removed all of the challenges. So why am I going to... I just don't have a reason to keep reading. And that saddens me, especially because of how easy it could have been to keep the tension in place. Allow for the building it of whatever he wants. Don't allow for the materials to be so freaking easy to come by that every NPC in this world becomes a yes man just throwing things at him. Like everyone has their own vision of what is important for him to craft. Everyone, every last person who has like a super once in a lifetime item that he needs to craft something that the world's never seen before, they would all have their ideas on what he should craft. And he clearly would not go along with any of it, right? Because he builds like an elixir machine. So you can like pop back some drugs. Cool. And what else did he do? An ability looky, adder, findy, diagnosey thing. Okay, cool. Most people would be like, I want a shield. I'm not giving you this unless you build the shield for me so we can protect this zone for these people who are, as we saw in the first book, literally dying just traveling from place to place. Or a train to make it so nothing that attacks the transportation will survive. Or a weapon to vaporize all of the things that are around you that are trying to eat your face. Like there's a whole laundry list of what people would probably want to have created that would probably not go along with what he's creating. So then he would have to either negotiate, give up something, or go get it himself, which would entail gratuitous amounts of danger. And at the end of that, you would feel like he achieved something that would be worth the item that he's crafting that the world has never seen before. But I just don't feel like he earned a single thing in this book. So, I mean, I don't know. I might read the next one, but honestly, I don't know. It really lost me on this one. It really made it. Yeah, it really lost me on this one. And the blurb is wrong. Crafting the first ever mythic grade piece of equipment should have made Solid Legend. It did. Instead, it might end up getting him killed. There was no chance of that ever in this book. Ever. It'd be great if there was. It'd be great if that line right there actually set off something that could have actually got him killed. That he would have to figure out his way around. If there was actually tension in the book. But you could clearly see there wasn't. That's why episode used the most coveted demonic material known to man to build an attack drone. Yeah, you kill a bunch of demons that then give you their materials so you can keep building whatever you want. Yeah. And then not to mention, like at long last, like it says he's hiding his abilities. Yeah, he reveals himself. But the reveal is like, yeah, I did that. And people around him are like, oh, you did that? He's like, yeah, I did that. Like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna go get a pizza. Like, I don't know. There's nothing there either. So yeah, that was my take on Quest Academy, Book 5, Legions. A little disappointed. I really wish I kept the tension. Now, it's possible that this book was just written quickly to get to book 6 to kind of like do a soft reset because of what happens in book 5. It's like, oh no. There's like all these other tiers that humanity didn't know about, right? And that's what's going to be really hard to acquire. So maybe there's like a little bit of a soft reset of the story that might be coming in book 6. Maybe that's where the tension's all gonna be. Maybe he did do a little bit of an oopsie with book 4 and book 5 and potentially a bit of 4, making things as easy as he did. Maybe he realized it, and like all the things I'm griping about will be resolved in 6. Maybe I'll still read 6. But if 6 doesn't find its tension again, I'll be done with the series. I won't go beyond that. I hope it does. Like, the person who wrote book 1 and 2 is clearly capable of tension to give you a reason to keep reading. To have the main character earn his achievements. And I would just be so disappointed if all of that just goes away. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, that is Quest Academy Book 5, Legions. And yeah, we'll have to see about 6. Ah, well, let's go find something else to read.